Hi, and thank you for joining us today on the Arizona Daily Wildcat Scouting Report. I'm Saul Bookman, and today we take a look at the number 23 ranked Utah Utes who come into Arizona Stadium to take on the Arizona Wildcats, who are not yet ranked, coming in with a 2-1 record. Utah comes in with a 3-0 record, and the first thing you need to know about them is Darren Carrington. This guy has been superb so far this season. In 3 games played, he has 26 receptions. He has 409 yards receiving. He also has 4 touchdowns, and he is quarterback Nick Huntley's go-to guy throughout the game. So Arizona's secondary is really going to have to be on their toes and really play a solid fundamental game. As you can see, not too much of a dynamic arm from Huntley, although when he's throwing it to Carrington, Carrington has so much separation from DBs that he can actually do quite a bit of damage. As you can see, Arizona's secondary had a few troubles the other night against UTEP last week, letting defenders get behind them, letting receivers run right across the defense without being touched, and really even being contested. So Arizona's really going to have to be keeping an eye on them. On the other hand, you got Huntley. He's dynamic. He's a sophomore. He sat out last year, sat behind the other quarterback, and he can do it all. He can run, he can throw. He's a dynamic quarterback. He loves to run. That is his MO. He's similar to a Brandon Dawkins, for those of you who've been watching most of Arizona's games. But he is still in his first year, and like I said, Carrington is going to be his first guy that he's going to be looking for. He's physical. He likes to run the ball. He doesn't shy away from contact, but he does make questionable throws, like this one against BYU. Although it was complete, but it was off his back foot. It was lofted up in the air, and as you can see, Arizona's defense, especially the other night against UTEP, when a quarterback did that, they took advantage. As you see, Colin Schooler running down the field for an almost touchdown, which would set up a score later on for Arizona. So Arizona's been prone to capitalizing on errors. As you can see, Nick Huntley right here turning the ball over against BYU. So as a new starter, going up against a defense that is growingly gaining more confidence, it's going to be vital that Utah protect the ball, and it's going to be vital for Arizona, just like their defense coordinator wants, to create turnovers. Now, on the other side of the ball, Utah's defense is fierce, but when they come with 4, sometimes they can give you some time to throw, just like they did against Tanner Mangum against BYU, which led up to a score. And if you remember last week, same thing happened, and this time with a much more athletic quarterback in Brandon Dawkins, he could have some chances to score. On the other side, the seams are going to be wide open against Utah as well. You can see this sometimes, and this is reminiscent of a play that Arizona ran last week where they found Sean Brown on a 36-yard seam route right down the middle for a touchdown as well. But you got to be careful, because Utah does like to disguise their coverage, and Tanner Mangum found that out last week as he threw a couple interceptions because of the pressure that Utah was able to force against the Cougars. Now, the coverages are one thing, but their front 4, especially with Loa Latulele, are a fierce bunch. Latulele, he leads the team pretty much up front. He's one of their star players. He was the first choice Pac-12 All-American, and you can see here he can do more than just sack the quarterback or make tackles, as he gets a key deflection right here, which led to an interception for Utah against their rival BYU. So their front 4 is fierce. Their linebackers are probably the most athletic that Kyle Whittingham's had during his time. But then you go to special teams, and Mitch Wisnowski, who's an outstanding punter, and he can really set you back deep. He's as good as it gets in the Pac-12, but if he outkicks his coverage, just like we saw a week ago for Arizona against UTEP, well, this man named Sean Brown, he can really do some damage and put some points on the board. And I think Arizona will have to indeed rely on their special teams in order to overcome whatever might be a shortcoming for this offense against this team. Utah coming in, one of the better teams in the Pac-12, expected to compete for the Pac-12 South. So we'll see what happens Friday night at Arizona Stadium. Thank you for joining us here on the Arizona Daily Wildcat Scouting Report. I'm Saul Bookman, and we'll talk to you later.